guys, and welcome to my channel, Moxie DIY in Java. I'm Michelle. Today's video is a really exciting and special one. It's going to be a charity craft challenge, and I will give you more information about that later. But today's video is going to be all about wood rounds. Well, one wood round, but the challenge is about wood rounds. If you are new, I hope that you like what you see and will maybe check out some of my other content. And if you are a subscriber, hello again. I'm so glad you're here. And with that, grab your cup of coffee or your favorite beverage and join me. As soon as I heard the theme of this month's challenge, I knew exactly which wood round I would use. So for this DIY, I'm using chalk paint, this cool little kit from the Dollar Tree. My chalk paint is going to be in linen white, and the other one is going to be steel by Waverly Chalk Paint, but we'll get to that later. So all I'm going to do is just put a base layer of the linen white all over my wood round. I personally love using sponge rollers and sponge brushes just because I feel like they give it a cleaner finish. I'm not very good with brushes, so I prefer the sponge ones for a more smoother finish. So now that the top is dry, we're going to paint the bottom. Now, this is part of a table kit that you can find pretty much anywhere, even Goodwill. So I'm not going to paint the hardware because that's where the legs are going to screw in, and I don't want it to get all gummed up with paint. So I'm going to just make an outline with the brush and then use my roller for the rest. This table has been a project I've been wanting to do for a while, but I was never entirely sure what I wanted to do with it. And then when I heard what Jamie and husband had decided on for the charity challenge, I knew this was the time to do this project. And now that the back is dry, we're going to go over the sides. Now the sides on these tables are really porous, so I had to smush the roller down a bit in certain areas just to really get the paint in there. So before I get too much farther, I wanted to let you know what this charity craft challenge is all about. Jamie and her husband had been involved with a bunch of charities and fundraisers and things like that pre-COVID. And they wanted to give back, but they wanted to be able to do it with COVID in mind. So they opened this up to any DIYer, and basically the prize is going to be a $50 donation to the charity of the winner's choice. And we can choose a big organization or a local one, whichever one we felt led to donate to. And they would donate the $50. So it's a win-win for both the winner and also the charity. So what you would do is you're going to watch the entire playlist, and there will be a Google document that you will go to and vote for. And I would love it if you voted for mine, but I want you to vote with your heart. And the winner will get their charity donated to. And I was really excited to join this because charities are really struggling during COVID. Just everything went haywire during 2020. And the charity I chose was the Wounded Warrior Project. And I'm going to read you their mission statement real quick. The Wounded Warrior Project mission is to honor and empower wounded warriors who incurred a physical or mental injury, illness, or wound coincident to your military service on or after September 11th, 2001. The person may also be eligible for the program if they are the family member or caregiver of a wounded warrior. And this particular charity really speaks to my heart. I haven't made this public before, but I am a military spouse. My dad was military. Both my grandfathers were military. So the fact that there is now a charity that takes care of our veterans who come back with physical wounds and not so physical wounds is something that's really important to me. So I hope that you will consider voting for my project, so that way the Wounded Warrior Project will get $50. And if you're at all interested, I will link the Wounded Warrior Project's webpage below, as well as the link to the Google Doc where you can vote. So on with the project. My sides have now dried, so I placed some tape to create the lines for the French stripes. I think that's what it's called. And so what I did was I placed one line of tape. I used a spacer tape, which I'm showing you here. Then I placed another line of tape. I doubled the spacer tapes to create a thicker line. And now I'm going to show you how to make the thinner line. I got this idea from Whitney from Whiskey and Wit, and I will link her channel below. And now I'm just firmly pressing down on all the tape. Now that the tape has been pressed down on the top and the sides, we're ready to move on to the next step. I got this idea from Natalie Callahan from Design to the Nines, and I will be sure to link her channel below as well. And what I'm going to do is go over my tape lines with the base color paint, which in this case is linen white, and that will help keep any bleeding of the next color from going through. I thought this was a genius idea, and you'll see how it turns out. As you might be able to see, there are some streak lines, and I'm actually okay with that because it kind of makes it appear to be like a linen or like a tea towel type material. So I'm actually going to leave them there. But if you are doing this project, you can absolutely do whatever suits your design. Now it's time for my coffee break. My family and I were able to go to New Zealand pre-COVID, and if you're ever able to, you absolutely should. The people are incredible, and the scenery is just gorgeous. So this brings back good memories whenever I use this mug. If you would like to connect with me in other ways, I am also on Pinterest, Instagram, and Rumble, and my links to those are in the About section of my channel. And if you would like to help support my channel in any way, you can always buy me a coffee. I have a coffee account all set up, and it is also going to be linked in the description box. I'm removing this tape before the gray is completely dry. This part is always my favorite part, and it's so satisfying when the lines are crisp like this. Ta-da! Now we're moving on to the legs of the table, and I found it was easier for me to paint them having them in this basket. If you have a box or styrofoam or something else to help keep them up, I personally think it's easier than having them rolling around and then possibly ruining the paint that you just put on. Here I'm just showing you that I'm not going to be painting that very tip. I'm just going to be painting up until that line. Now I'm going to add this wax to all my finished projects. It is a white wax is what it says, but it actually winds up being more of an antique wax with like a creamy color, which I was okay with. That actually goes really well with the decor I have in my home anyway. But if you do want a pure white, I would not use this wax. I struggled a little bit with this wax on the top of the table. You'll see in a later clip that I water it down for the bottom of the table, and I think that worked a lot better. It was easier to apply and to smear around with the cloth. So hindsight being 2020, next time I will definitely water it down for the entire project. Here's where I watered it down. I had a splash of water in there and a little bit more of the wax. I'd say probably 2 parts wax to 1 part water, and I feel like it went on much easier and was easier for me to manipulate and move around on the wood table. I hope that you are enjoying what you're seeing so far, and if you do, I hope that you will like, subscribe, or share this video with someone who might be interested in it. And here she is. I'm so proud of how this turned out. It actually turned out better than I thought it would. And here it is all decorated with my decor. And don't forget to vote for your favorite project in the playlist. It will be in my description box. I hope that you have enjoyed spending this time with me as much as I have enjoyed spending it with you. And until I see you in the next video, take care.